The world keeps telling you things will get better if you just play by the rules a little longer, follow the usual advice, hustle in the usual ways. But deep down, the fire inside isn't satisfied, is it? The tired pattern of building companies just for profit, copying what worked yesterday, chasing investments by wearing masks you hate. That's suffocating. It's like running on a treadmill that's rigged to keep you stuck, not moving closer to the meaning, the impact, the change you know you're capable of. The truth is, the system doesn't want you to break free. It wants you to think success is numbers, buzzwords, and following the masses. But here's the brutal secret. The rise of ethical unicorns is not a trend or hype. It's the screaming, pulsing answer to the hunger for something real, something beyond the fake promises the old world sells. When founders launch social enterprises, when investors put money into mission-driven businesses, it's not because they want to be comfortable or compliant. No, they are desperate for something more honest. They want to rewrite what business even means. They are tired of seeing people, communities, and the earth sacrificed on the altar of profit. They are done with empty gestures and marketing fluff. Ethical unicorns rise because these founders and investors are refusing to accept the lie that growth must come at anyone's expense. This is a rebellion against the stale game where the system rewards mediocrity and punishes courage. But here's what makes this especially raw and urgent. These founders and leaders often feel isolated, misunderstood, crushed by systems designed to flatten them out. Society teaches you to fit in, to conform, to shuttle along predictable paths. When you burn with vision for something different, you get dismissed. You get told, it's naive, you'll fail, or worse, just settle. The world has no space built for the rare, the radical person who refuses to play small. And that's the pain once and for all, the misalignment between who you are and what the system allows. That's why ethical unicorns don't just emerge from convenient places. They emerge from outcasts, from visionaries who refuse to bow, from those who dare to take the edges instead of the center. So what's fueling this unstoppable wave of ethical unicorns right now? Because it's bigger than luck or timing. It's built on a powerful hunger blossoming across the world, across founders, investors, and leaders craving honest impact over hollow growth. They're feeding a movement that says, profit is not enough. Impact is the new currency. This hunger is blinding and beautiful. It's raw and relentless. It's calling out to those who are done waiting for the system to care, to those who know real change doesn't come from the center, but from the fierce few willing to burn down old borders. These exceptional individuals and organizations are flipping the script in ways you can't afford to ignore. First, they disrupt traditional funding models by demanding alignment with investors who care about their mission deeply, not just about returns. They engage in fierce, honest conversations about the trade-offs. They aren't afraid to reject offers that compromise their values. This rebellion itself seeds trust, and trust becomes the foundation of an entirely new ecosystem that nurtures radical ideas, not just polished pitches. These founders and investors become co-creators of a future where success is measured in lives changed, communities healed, and ecosystems restored, not just in dollars. Second, ethical unicorns don't just create products or services, they ignite movements. They awaken their communities, their customers, their teams to see business as a powerful tool for liberation. They build companies that don't settle for being engines of consumption, but instead become engines of uplift, of justice, of hope. This is not your ordinary startup story. This is about enterprises that embed empathy, equity, and sustainability at their core, crafting solutions that don't extract value but generate abundance for all. The rise of these ethical unicorns means that the future is being shaped by those who understand that capitalism, if freed from greed and short-sightedness, can be the very means to restore balance. Third, they leverage radical transparency and accountability, not as buzzwords, but as fierce commitments. They tear down walls between leadership and communities. They open books, share stories, admit failures publicly. This moves beyond traditional accountability. It's a call to arms, a radical invitation to the people they serve to be part of the change, to hold them to the highest standards. And by doing this, ethical unicorns build ironclad trust and weave strong bonds that the old corporate models never dreamed of. It's the emotional fuel that drives loyalty, passion, and unstoppable momentum. For founders and investors watching this, you might be wrestling with doubts. Can I really build a $1 billion company that stays true to my values? Is it possible to create massive change without sacrificing the mission? The answer is a blazing, undeniable yes. Ethical unicorns prove it, not by following old rules, but by rewriting them. The key is ruthless clarity around your why and a refusal to accept anything less than absolute alignment between your mission and your strategy. One of the most powerful yet least talked about moves these founders make is mastering the art of being fiercely sovereign. That means you are the captain of your vision. You don't let external noise, trends, or pressure steer you away from your truth. Sovereignty means becoming your own learned critic, constantly questioning the norms, but with kindness toward yourself. It's about building endurance, patience, and faith in the long game, even when the immediate world shakes you down with doubts and distractions. This sovereignty is the weapon that cuts through complacency and fear. Another lesson ethical unicorns bring is the magic of alignment over scale. The old dogma screams scale at all costs, but this is a trap. Ethical unicorns show that authentic growth is about scaling the right things, the right people, the right partnerships, the right impact. It's better to grow slow and strong with deeply aligned allies than chase fast expansion that waters down everything you stand for. This approach may seem counterintuitive in a world obsessed with speed, but it's the only path to creating change that lasts. And here's the beautiful irony. By focusing on the few, the rare connections, the brutally honest relationships, the complementary skills that create unstoppable synergy, these founders build communities that become forces of nature. Because real change is never a solo mission. It's radical collaboration at the edges, where difference becomes strength and diversity sparks innovation that can't be manufactured in boardrooms. If the old world builds walls, ethical unicorns build bridges, deep human bridges that unleash creativity, resilience, and impact. For investors, this means shifting the lens from financial metrics alone to a holistic view that elevates mission integrity, community empowerment, and long-term ecosystem health. The rise of ethical unicorns demands that investors wake up to their own power as co-creators of the future, not just check writers. When investment becomes strategic support rather than control, founders can thrive in their true sovereignty. This is not philanthropy dressed as venture capital. This is a radical reimagining of partnership that fuels breakthroughs the world desperately needs. And for leaders, this wave is a wake-up call to either lead with purpose or get left behind. Ethical unicorns show that leadership without vision and heart is slow death. If you're driven only by titles, policies, or tradition, you will lose relevance. But stepping into leadership as a force for transformation, a person willing to disrupt their own assumptions and forge new paths, that's the kind of leadership that builds ethical unicorns and changes everything. In the end, the rise of ethical unicorns is an eruption of hope in a world starved for meaning. It's a loud, bold declaration that business can be more. More just, more connected, more fearless. It's proof that when a few people refuse to accept anything less than extraordinary alignment between values and action, the whole system starts to shift. This is not a small rebellion. It's the beginning of a revolution powered by the liberated individual. Those who are done waiting, done compromising, ready to set fire to the old script and write their own stories. So this moment calls for those who burn to step forward with savage clarity. You must nurture your sovereignty, relentlessly cultivate alignment over scale, and harvest the power of deep, honest collaboration. This is the blueprint if you want to be part of the next wave of ethical unicorns who don't just build companies, but build futures. The world may try to trap you in its tired illusions, but remember, it was never about fitting in. It's about breaking out. The time to join this fierce movement of rare, brilliant, and uncompromising founders and investors is now. Because the pieces are falling into place. The old narratives are weakening. Power is shifting from the center to the edges. where the brave and the radical are already shaping a world that honors difference, amplifies essence, and unleashes human potential like never before. If you're feeling that unbearable tension inside, that urge that says you're meant for more, don't silence it. That tension is your revolution calling. The rise of ethical unicorns shows it can be done. It's messy, demanding, and breathtaking. It's not just possible, it's happening, and it's unstoppable. The future belongs to those who refuse to settle, who burn uncomfortably bright, who become sovereign creators of reality, aligned with the few who burn just as fiercely. This is how true power rises, through the edge, the rare, the exceptional. You are not alone. The infrastructure for the exceptional is being built by those who dared to reject comfort and conformity. For founders, for investors, for leaders who refuse to bow, your moment is here. Stay burning. Stay sovereign. The ethical unicorns are rising, and they are rewriting everything you thought you knew about business, success, and freedom.